YouTube so sensitive, you barely can't even talk about shit that you want to talk about. Without them saying, that you promoting either violence, you spreading misinformation, or anything to the sort or something like that. But I just want to shed the light, you know what I'm saying, on shit, because it's enough bullshit being talked about on social media. It's enough so-called entertainment going on. So basically, you got a bunch of famous clowns and then a bunch of sub-famous clowns up under them that's trying to get, famous, like the Bozos and, the Buckety clowns and shit and all, so. But the things that's not being capitalized on is what people should capitalize on. I'm gonna try to go as long as my phone battery on. But all I really wanted to talk about, because a lot of people seeing shit that's being swept up under the rug right in front of your face, it's actually being swept up under the rug right in front of your face. And now the mockery in which the way that they doing things, me, I don't give a damn about no algorithm. I don't care about none of this shit. I'm gonna just say it outright. These people, unalive David Wilcox. I don't know. It's funny because that last video, look from the looks of it, this last video that he made was about Trump and Trump. With that when Trump was depicting himself as Christ, healing people, and the video was like 3 hours and 30 minutes long, and I didn't watch it all the way through, but just as a quick as a quick overhaul of who David Wilcox was, he co-hosted at least over 100 episodes of Ancient Aliens. If everybody know what Ancient Aliens is, they watch that. Bunch of different stuff like that. Very brilliant guy, smart, and all of a sudden he just died after he tell people, that he would never kill himself. All of a sudden he just died out of nowhere, after stating in multiple videos that he would never do that to himself. All of a sudden he dies. Ain't no coincidence in that. Ain't no coincidence in that. What's up, y'all? Ain't no coincidence in that. People gotta understand. They tell you that you got freedom of speech, but really ain't no such thing as freedom of speech, because if you say the wrong thing about the wrong person, your ass is out of here. You out of here. It don't matter what stature you is. You can be small. You can be big. I was just watching a video about Jonathan James, who was the world's biggest cyber hacker. Where he was like one of the first. As a juvenile, he hacked NASA database. At 15 years old, he hacked the Pentagram database. He hacked NASA database. And, they ended up, since he was a juvenile, they ended up giving him probation and all of that. He violated probation by smoking. He went to jail for 6 months. He got out. He laid low off the radar for like 8 years. After that, then the biggest TJX, a lot of y'all probably heard about TJX, the TJX hack or heist or whatever in that hack. Well, they stole an undisclosed amount of money. It was the biggest, 180 million credit cards, access to 180 million credit cards and shit. So they wanted to involve Jonathan James in it because his previous background, and like they said, the FBI, people would think that the justice system is playing on a factual basis and all of that, but their job is to secure a conviction, so they don't give a damn what it takes. At the end of the day, if the shoe fit, you gonna win. If somebody known for pulling robberies all of their life and then they stop for 5 years and then a big robbery take place and that person still living in the same place, even some evidence indicating that it may be that person, they going straight to that person, and all. They trying to secure conviction. That's how the justice system works. So basically, they came and arrested him for it, but they never charged him for it. They let him go. So all of a sudden did he kill himself? This boy was, after 15, 8 years later, like 20, 23 years, 24 years old. So he just killed himself? After that, he thought that basically the scenario was to paint that he thought he was gonna go to prison for a long time, right? He just killed himself. But that's the thing, though. He knew that he didn't do it at all, and so he would have went to trial and fought trial on that shit. But all of a sudden, Jonathan James killed himself at 24 years old, being the first person at age 15 years old to ever pull the biggest cyber heist ever in America on the planet. He had NASA database, he had the Pentagram database. So now he just killed himself. Turns out it wasn't even him, and it was two other people who they ended up convicted of this shit. And so he just killed himself, right? No, he did not kill himself. After I looked into it, they even got where he was writing books and writing explanation letters as to why he was doing it, talking about certain assets that he had that his family could go and get and all of this, you know what I'm saying? And then he just killed himself. The biggest thing was they never charged Jonathan James. They never charged him with the TJX heist in case. They never charged him in it. But the thing they were trying to make it seem like was, he thought that he was gonna be charged. He was writing about how justice system really leaned off of, you fit in the description more than justice, and he supposedly did that to himself. I would tell you something about America. When you a problem, the higher ups, Satan and his kingdom, they're gonna get you up out of here. That boy was an issue, even though he wasn't hacking no more. He wasn't even a part of it, but he fitted the description. And they got him out of here. That's what they did. So basically, they play chess. You know what I'm saying? They play for keeps. Come on now, this is the United States government. This is Homeland Security. All of these different entities. This is the FBI. This is all of these different people. They playing for keeps. So if we eliminate him, that's one less hacker that's gone. So we can X him out. We ain't got to worry about him coming back. No, this was 8 years later when this heist took place. We ain't got to worry about him coming back again if we send him to prison, right? If we do convict him unfairly and we send him to prison, 20 years later he get out. This boy still, when he was 15 years old, had NASA database. He still hacked the Pentagram database and had access to $1.4 million worth of sensitive information and all of that. So they play for keeps. On to David Wilcox, the scientist who just died about, 5 days ago? Somebody who will tell you over and over in videos that they will never harm themselves, that they will never inflict harm upon themselves, and then they die in the same way. I gotta watch what I'm saying. They perish in the same way that they tell you they not gonna do. That wasn't nothing but them people doing that to him and mocking him, showing you we can do it and we can get away with it. We done it and got away with it so many times. We got away with it with the scientists, the 12 scientists. Look at this. Several reports as of April 26 suggest a series of deaths and disappearances involving over 10 U.S. scientists, specifically in aerospace and nuclear research, prompting federal investigations into the potential pattern. Ain't no federal investigation. They'll tell you it's gonna be. That's what America gonna do. Tell you a federal investigation because it's like the highest form, right? The highest form of, you know what I'm saying? Like justice. The highest form of a situation being looked into. The most serious. You know what I'm saying? People that's gonna get involved in something. But man, these people behind everything. The federal government is devils. The government is devils. Think about this for a minute. How can one damn my phone went dead? I needed it too. How can one body of people rule over 1 billion people in one place? Nobody ever thought about that. How can 1 billion people rule? One body of people made up of Democrats, Republicans, senators, FBI director, president, vice president. How can these people rule over 1 billion people? It's power. Do y'all think that their power will come from man? That power don't come from man. It don't matter how many weapons, how many war weapons they have. None of that. This is intelligence. This is deception. That's what the government is ruling with. They're using deception. The whole thing about your vote and why your vote will never matter, no matter if you middle class, upper class, or lower class, it's because the vote system was designed to make you think that you have an option in deciding who's going to be, your next president, your next senator, your next mayor, your next. That's what it was all ever about, making you think that you have an opinion in it, right? Okay, so I believe in this. I believe, in this Republican point of view. This person believe in this Democratic point of view. This person believe in they believe this. This person believe that. It's all lies, you know. So I'm gonna go vote for this person. You go vote for that person. You believe that they're gonna bring new laws about schools and health and all that, so you clean towards this person. I believe that these people is gonna bring new laws about justice and the police department or stuff to do with crime, and all of this. So I'm gonna go vote for this person, right? To make you think you got a choice. That's what they doing. To make you think. When it's way deeper than you think. It's way deeper than you think. I can't just run for president and win. Whoever you are, can't just run for president and you win. Presidents not just chosen. Presidents don't just run for presidents and become presidents. They don't. They chosen. They chosen. They chosen out of a group of people, right? A group of people made up of families. A group of people who have been around for a long time, right? Running the world, controlling the world. The Jewish people. These people, they're chosen out of a line of these people. You're going to be the next president. You're going to be the next vice president. You're going to be the next this. You're going to be the next that. They chosen because it's a one world order going on. And the order is to keep the people oppressed up under Satan's kingdom. What's up? That's the whole. Huh? Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Good, man. How you doing?
Good.
That's pretty good, bro.
Good.
That's the whole. That's the
All
whole.
right.
Yeah, you too, man. That's the whole objective of it. It's to keep everybody oppressed, keep everybody distracted upon the Satan's kingdom. That's the. How do I pause this shit? You will no longer in. God damn it! I need to pause it.